What's going on YouTube? And welcome back to another video of McLean's Man Cave Picks and Predictions Week 11. So I'm sorry that I did not get a picks and predictions for Week 10. I was kind of busy that week, but here we go, jumping right into this week here. So I'm recording this video on a Thursday, and actually there is a big game on tonight. North Carolina and Pitt. Pitt's favored minus 6.5. I really think I'm going to go with Pitt here. I really think Kenny Pickett, again, is Heisman contender. North Carolina's defense is still pretty shady. I mean, I don't know. They're like almost every game I'm looking, it's almost like 40, 50 points their team is giving up. So I think Pitt wins by about a touchdown. I wouldn't say they would cover, though. It's not a lock, but I'm going to say Pitt wins that game. Moving on to Cincinnati in South Florida. This will be Friday night. And, Cincinnati ranked 5. A lot of people thinking that they're getting snubbed by the college football playoff committee. I don't think so. I mean, every week, it seems like every single week, whether it's Tulsa, Tulane, any of those kind of those teams that are not Power 5 teams, even Navy, they're barely winning, by one possession or even less. Like, it's almost like a field goal. And they did get lucked out last week against Tulsa. So I gotta say, on the eye test, they don't pass my eye test. Definitely not. Of course they're gonna win out. I mean, they're definitely gonna go 12-0. But with their strength of schedule and the eye test, not passing the eye test, they just don't look that good. And if they do make the playoff, I mean, that's just going to be boring. Get your popcorn out, go get a glass of wine and some cheese and stuff, because you're just going to be sitting talking with your friends while, Georgia runs up the score in Cincinnati, because they're going to get destroyed if they make it to the playoff. But in this case, the line's minus 23 for Cincinnati. I think that's actually kind of high. Cincinnati has not covered in like the past month at all. And the line's always in the 20s, and they never cover. So I don't think that Cincinnati covers here. They could probably win maybe 2 touchdowns, no more than that. Moving on, so Cincinnati's my pick. They're going to win, but they're probably not going to cover. Moving on to Alabama and New Mexico State. Everyone's like, why are you even picking this game? Alabama's obviously going to win, but, the line is minus 51, which is kind of high. And I don't think Alabama has beaten anyone by 51 or more points. I could be wrong, but I think like Southern Missouri, it was like 61-14. So that's not even 51 points. So, this, I'm not calling it a lock, but Alabama's going to win. But I don't know. I really don't see them, winning by more than 51 here. I did the teaser where you can add points. So I did New Mexico State plus 57.5, which, is way more favorable. If you can do that, that'd probably be a good pick. Moving on to Penn State, Michigan. Biggest game of this weekend for Week 11. Rivalry game for sure. So get this. Michigan is now number 6 in the country, and Penn State, according to the CFP, in the AP poll, they're 23. In the CFP, they're unranked. I don't know how that works, because, they're 6-3, okay? They played Iowa really, really well. They're basically going to beat Iowa if Sean Clifford didn't get hurt. They had a bad game against Illinois when Sean Clifford was still not healthy. But regardless, they lost to Illinois by 2 points in 9 overtimes. So it's not like they got blown out like Iowa did, or, anything like that. No, they lost by 2 points. Let's remember that. And they lost to Ohio State, which at most of the time they were actually winning. That fumble 6 kind of took things away. In the fourth quarter, it was 24-27, so that's still pretty close. They played Ohio State really, really close, and Penn State is unranked. That is leaves me scratching my head, because, Auburn is ranked, I think 17 or 18. Wisconsin's around the same area. Wisconsin and Auburn, both 6-3. Penn State has beaten both of them, and Wisconsin definitely had some bad losses. Auburn definitely, they almost lost to Georgia State, which is probably worse than losing to Illinois, because Illinois can blow Georgia State out of the water. So, CFP rankings, I don't know where that's at. But just to put things in perspective, number 6 Michigan versus unranked Penn State, 6-3 Penn State, and the spread was even all week. Even. How does that work with a number 6 top 10 team versus unranked team, and the spread's even? doesn't make sense to me. But, slowly as the week has gone on, Michigan is now favored minus 1.5. It is going to be a close game, but I really want to say Penn State's going to win this game. Not even because I'm a Penn State fan. I just really, really feel it in my guts. I feel like, Sean Clifford's getting healthy now. I feel like they're really getting comfortable in the passing game. And Penn State's defense is just amazing as always. Michigan does definitely favor the run, and Penn State's running defense and red zone defense is next to none. Maybe Georgia's the only one better. So I think Penn State's defense bends and does not break. I'd probably go with the over, but that's definitely not a lock. But I would probably go with the over at 48.5 because I still think the score is going to be like 31-24 or something like that, which is definitely above 49 points or above 48 points for that matter. So Penn State wins that one. Moving on to Baylor, Oklahoma. Baylor at number 8. Baylor at number 13, Oklahoma at number 8. This is my upset for the weekend. I always put Oklahoma on upset alert, and they always escape it by some miracle. But, today I'm going to say, Baylor's going to win this. Oklahoma's finally going to lose their first game. And we can all have a nice sigh of relief, like, oh, finally, they finally lost. And, we can quiet those fans up a little bit. Because, again, that Oklahoma's another team like Cincinnati that has not passed the eye test, in my opinion. All right, moving on. We got some other good games on here, but, I can't get through every single game. But, number 1, Georgia versus Tennessee. Line minus 20 for Georgia. This I would really want to call a lock that Georgia covers minus 20. I mean, they have the best defense in the country. I think they're averaging about 7 points, allowing 7 points per game, which is incredible. Tennessee's a good opponent, not the best, but I don't see them scoring many points on Georgia. I could definitely see the score being like 35-10, so that makes it 25, right? So yeah, I think Georgia's probably going to cover here, and that's my first lock. Moving on to Purdue and Ohio State. This is going to be another lock of mine. A lot of people are going to be like, you're wild, you're crazy. But if you think about it, I don't think Ohio State has covered in their past month of games or so. For the past month or so, they've been favored by, 14, 17, 21, haven't covered at all, regardless of the opponent. They're also, sure, you can blow out teams like Tulsa and things like that. But when you're playing the Penn States and even Nebraska is a pretty scrappy team, they were favored to beat Nebraska by 14 and they didn't even cover. I think they won by 6 or 9 or something like that. Or maybe it's 11. But regardless, they didn't cover. So, so I think, although Purdue is now ranked, because now Purdue is the number 1 team that has beaten top 5 teams as an unranked team. Purdue is finally ranked at 19. So regardless of their rank, and regardless that it's in Columbus, Ohio, I don't think Purdue's going to lose by more than 21. That's just on me. So I think that maybe Ohio State does win. I'm not saying Purdue's going to beat every top 10 team or top 5 team for that matter, but I don't think they're going to lose by that much. Because I think Ohio State's defense is a little soft. So maybe go with the over here. Over is not my lock, but maybe go with the over here. And then Purdue plus 21.5 or plus 20.5. Those are my 2 locks. And then let's just kind of see if there's anything else that I could talk about that's worth noting. Other than that, I don't really want to go into too much. Maybe Notre Dame and Virginia. Notre Dame minus 5.5. Good matchup. They look pretty evenly matched on paper, but I really think Notre Dame's going to win. I think they should win by 10, so I think they'll cover, but that's not a lock. Notre Dame wins that game. And then we also have another good one, NC State 16 versus Wake Forest 12. Wake Forest just being dealt their first loss of the season. Now there's no more undefeated ACC teams. This is going to be a shootout, no doubt. But I think Wake Forest should win because I think, especially Wake Forest defense definitely needs some work, some big time work. Other than that, I think everything is good. If you want to add an extra +1 lock, just I don't really know enough about these teams, but from what I can see on paper, we got Utah State and San Jose State. You could tell that San Jose State doesn't have the best offense, but they're favored minus 4.5 against 7-2 Utah State. I just don't see that. I mean, I think Utah State plus 4.5, that to me makes a lot of sense. I don't know why they would choose 5-5 San Jose State to beat Utah State, but I won't call that my number one lock. That'll just be that little addition lock at the end. So that's 10 minutes. You know the deal. Like the video, subscribe, and, have a great weekend of watching some football. Leave your comments down below and tell me if you agree or disagree. And let's go Penn State. Let's beat U of M. All right, guys, take care.